got a problem, Lottie's got the answer. She won't sugarcoat 'em, 'cause it's Lottie, and Lottie don't lie. Cause it's Lottie, and Lottie don't lie.
What's up, Skirts Up? This isn't Skirts Up.
Oh,
What's up, Lottie Squad?
Lottie Squad.
Welcome,
to-
Lottie lovers. Oh, wait, no. What can we do?
Lottie
Okay, anyways, that's besides the point.
You are tuned in to Lottie Don't Lie. This is Samantha.
And Melissa.
Do you like that radio intro? It's really fitting.
Wait, you mean like the radio voice?
Yeah.
But don't we have that all the time? Because we are radio show hosts?
Obviously. Okay, now
that could get cut, but we'll see.
now that we're through that. Hi, Melissa.
Hello, Sam. How are you?
Doing good. I'm still just kind of rolling through the conversation that we've been having.
Yeah, so we've been talking about Christmas coming up, and it's... So I love Christmas.
Me too.
I love getting presents for people. Like, it's kind of a love language is like, here, take my money, take my things.
Yeah, it is a gift,
right?
Gift giving is
Yeah.
a gift, or is a love language.
Yeah, exactly. And I don't know, maybe I got it from my dad because I feel like that was something that he always did is he wanted to make sure he was providing for us. And so I don't
Okay.
know. I don't know where I got it, but I really, really just, I love giving things and I don't expect anything in return. I really don't.
Yeah.
But I do have a good friend and they're really getting nervous about Christmas. And I could tell because, well, I just know my friend. And so I said something to the effect of like, are you getting nervous because you feel like you're going to have to get everybody presents? And they were like, yeah. So I'm just kind of thinking about the people who aren't really in a position to be getting presents for everybody they know.
And so then they feel obligated to not want a gift? Is that
Yeah,
what you're-
then they feel super guilty if you get them something. They're kind of like, no, please don't. And they're terrified. There's this like, I remember being single when I was younger. I wasn't. Anyway, and I remember, some of my brothers and their wives and everybody was so nice and they would give us presents. And I have to admit, like, my family has always been really nice and never expected a lot from me. Maybe that's just because maybe that's a good thing or a bad thing. I don't know. But no, they've always been kind and they've never been like, well, you don't do this for us.
right.
But it doesn't mean that my friend's not going to feel some kind of way if I get them something. And then
Mhm.
even though I don't expect anything.
I think that that's a very common problem that a lot of people run into. I can think about when I was single, like single mom, had no money. And I remember always being like, oh, I'm buying like the clearance $3 thing from Walmart. Here you go. Like,
Right.
or like just not being able to show up with anything. Or, well, actually, I never did that. I never just showed up with anything. I would literally drain my account and then try to figure out how to pay my bills
That's me.
later.
Yeah.
So that's not healthy.
No, it's not. You're right. And it's kind of like, why?
That is the question.
Right?
Why? Why do we stress out about it? Why do we feel obligation?
Yeah. And Christmas is supposed to be like this time of peace and love and acceptance, all of these
So-
things. But then we put all this, do we
Right.
put it on ourselves or is that,
Oh,
I don't know. Like,
I think we do. And I almost wonder if we really think about it and look at it as like a whole big thing. Us as gift givers, maybe we're being selfish in a way.
ooh, I like the way you're going with this.
Yeah, maybe we're the ones that are being selfish because we're like, no, it's Christmas. I love giving gifts.
I feel good when I give gifts.
Right. So I'm going to get you one anyways. But maybe that's selfish of us.
Oh, you know what? I really like that thought because, I think you might be right. I think so. First of all, there's that whole idea that there's no such thing as true altruism. Have you ever heard of that? Like,
No.
oh, you haven't? Like everything that we do in our lives is for a selfish purpose inside.
Oh.
For instance, like instincts to take care like instincts to take care of your children and nurture them. Those are because we want our progeny to like succeed and continue with the earth. And like, if you're going to have like a group of people and you want to take care of your group, it's because you want your group to take care of you too. Like it goes back to like caveman days, right? Is this idea that everything we do has an ulterior motive. And so you're right. Like, are we giving because it feels good to us and we're hoping we'll get something in return one day? Or even just because we're getting that feel good feeling and maybe that right there. So you're right.
Well, when you say it that way, like my big gift giving didn't start until Simon and I got together and we started doing well for ourselves. And when I was a single mom, there were several years where people gifted Logan things for Christmas and things for me to wrap because he wasn't going to get anything otherwise because I was broke. So people were providing for us over the holidays. And so that's just something that now that we have the means to provide, now I'm like, oh, we're going to provide. Like, we can give it back.
Yeah.
But I think that's one thing, maybe, when people are acknowledging that they want assistance and help. But maybe when our friends and our close family are saying they don't want that, maybe that's when we reevaluate, is this for us or is this for them? And maybe there's a different love language that would mean more to them over the holidays. Maybe it's quality time.
I love that you're saying this because I actually did broach, I think open communication is a big part of trying to have a healthy relationship. So I did
like
broach
even with your friends?
Subject. Yeah. I did say to my friend, I was like, hey, I feel like you're getting nervous about Christmas. I feel like you need to get presents for everybody. And they were like, yeah, I'm going to have to get it for you. And then people at work and then other friends that I run into here and there. And it's like, they're like, it's just overwhelming. I don't want to do it. And they said to me like 3 times in this conversation where I was saying, hey, let's try to find a way where you don't feel like you have to get something for us. They said,
Perfect.
Let's skip Christmas. And I kept saying, well, how can we not skip Christmas, but still like do it? And maybe I'm not listening. Maybe I need to say, hey, you know what? We're going to skip Christmas, but what we're going to do instead is have like an experience together.
Oh, that's hard.
Right? I don't know. Maybe I'm not listening.
No, that's a hard one because I feel like that's trying to come to a compromise of we don't have to give gifts, but it's Christmas and there should be something.
Right.
So, yeah, an experience, but like, I don't think you have to give to celebrate Christmas. It could just be having a dinner together.
Right.
It could just be getting together for a small dinner and board games.
Yes.
Like,
so maybe we say, hey, this is the night we are going to get together. This is going to be our celebration.
Maybe don't even make it a big shindig. Like maybe you just eat like a roasted turkey from Publix.
Yeah, exactly. And then like you said, well, we're big board gamers. Right. So like, yeah, we're going to get together. We're going to play board games. You get to choose your favorite game.
Board gamer?
They are really good, and I have never beat them at a game yet, and I'm so annoyed.
So yeah, that'd be perfect. A little holiday rivalry. Not rivalry, but like...
Yes, why not?
Little friendly competition.
Yeah, totally.
That sounds healthy.
I will talk to them and see if they like that idea. And then I'm going to say, hey, I want to
eat ramen?
You, and I'm not going to... No, I'm just going to say, I'm going to respect you, and I'm not... Because this whole time I'm like, well, I'm going to get you something.
Right.
But no, I think I'm not listening.
I mean, I think that I'm kind of... I think that I would be guilty in that too. It actually didn't occur to me until we were talking.
Yeah.
Like today, this morning. What did get me thinking about Christmas is we are providing for the 25 families with the 5 Hive.
Yeah.
Which it is not too late to help them. We have a big list. Yeah. We have ways that you can participate, donate, just reach out. Plenty of opportunities. But yesterday I was like reading through the wish list as they're coming in, and I was like just kind of in my feels, which several of y'all saw on Facebook because I couldn't help it. We're looking at the wish list. It's not things that you want for Christmas.
Yeah.
It's necessities, basic needs, socks, underwear, clothing,
diapers,
work shoes, diapers. Like those aren't things that...
So sad.
that you want for Christmas, like a new doll. Like
That makes me feel bad because it's like how we're always like, don't get anyone like a vacuum for Christmas, or don't get someone
Is
something
that a
they
thing?
need. Well,
Not
it's a
doing that?
the joke. Like,
I wanna say,
don't
give
get
me a fucking vacuum,
No,
please.
the joke is like, don't give your wife something to clean the house.
Oh, okay, I haven't
But
heard
I
that.
guess what I mean is like just taking it back to necessities. Like, I don't want something that I have to just have like throughout the normal year for Christmas. I want a nice present, but they're asking for things that I would never ask for, and it
Honestly, I
just
want
lets
things
me
that
see
are
my privilege.
useful.
Well, that's good for you, but I'm like,
Oh my God, I love that. Oh my God. No, like when people are like, what do you want for like my mom this morning, she was just like, what do you want for Christmas? I need to know because I drew you on our, because we draw names.
Yeah.
That was the other thing that I was going to
yes,
bring up.
please share that. I like it.
Yeah. So my family isn't that big. I mean, it's my parents, me, Simon, my sister, her boyfriend, and Andrew, the kid's dad. And we always spend Christmas together. And it's gotten to the last few years where, you know, some of us wouldn't be as fortunate financially as others. And so then it just became this big stressful thing of, oh, how am I going to get so-and-so a gift? Like everyone's getting me a gift. And we just stopped.
Yeah.
And now we draw names every year. So now on Thanksgiving, it's always the thing. All right, how are we drawing names this year? Are we telling each other who we have? Are we not telling each other who we have? And now it's just like this
Ooh.
thing that we do every Thanksgiving that we like kind of look forward to.
Do you keep it a secret? Did you this year?
We try to keep it a secret, but every year it's not a secret.
Are you like me?
like within
You're
5
like,
seconds, it's not a secret.
Oh, okay.
And so, but that's just what we do, and it helps keep it costly. We don't draw
Or
names
cost
for
effective.
cost effective. Yes, we don't draw names for children; like they're not included in the draw,
Yeah.
so that we can also get the kids something if
Sure.
you know
If you want.
if you want.
Of course you want to.
Yeah, and they're kids, and maybe that's maybe that's the wrong way to think about it. Maybe that's how they get spoiled, but I don't know. So we do that, but we're looking at this wish list, and I'm like, that's just, we're doing something that isn't just gift giving. We're doing something that is essentially bettering someone's life.
Yes.
And it makes me kind of sad.
Yes. Oh, back to the wish list. I'm sorry. I was thinking about your wish list of your family, like grabbing names.
Oh, no,
Yes,
sorry. I was trying to
know.
loop it back.
Loop it back. She's right. It was kind of eye-opening seeing that list. I had opened it a couple weeks ago and I was thinking the same thing. I was like,
I kept putting it
yikes.
off. And then I was like, wait, we need to see what we're getting into.
I know.
And then I'm reading it yesterday and I just was sad. I was like, there was a couple of kids that had actual items,
I think there was
actual.
one iPhone or something or a phone.
Yeah, that was like the one thing that was like,
Of course, there's going to be a kid that wants
Right,
that.
right.
And they
It-
should be able to
because all their friends have it.
have that like wish.
So we're reading through this, and then it reminds me of, well, shit, every year the kids all over get these like big elaborate gifts and fun things and have like a whole tree full of gifts. There's kids like this that I don't think they are. They're just getting underwear.
Do you know what Melissa Walker used to do? Oh, no.
Brad, she's doing it again.
Brad told it. Oh, gosh. Yes, Brad let me know that he's like, there's not a single episode that goes by that you don't mention Melissa Walker. And I was like, surprise! Oops, you're right. But you know what she used to do, and I really liked it, is every year before Christmas, she would make her kids like go through all of their toys and clear out things to give to charity. Because if they couldn't fill up that bucket, then they didn't need to get more presents. But I think it'd be a really neat thing to kind of like that involves the kids, get them taking something and to charity. And I don't know.
We do it in the sense of we have always taken care of at least one, depending on finances, a few families for Christmas.
Yeah.
And the younger two obviously still believe in Santa. The oldest,
I want to talk about that in a minute too.
Okay. The oldest one, we were able to get away with it for until last year. Yeah. So
That-
12
okay, no,
years
wait.
old.
Okay. Question.
What?
Was he humoring you?
We tried to ask in non-conspicuous ways every year, like multiple times.
It's really sweet.
And it never really seemed like we suspected, but it wasn't until last year when, and I can't even remember what he said or what he asked or what was said, but then it finally, it was just like, dude,
We should
you
just
know,
tell
right?
you.
And he was like, know what? And so then he like literally
Played along so well.
I guess, and he like, made us, and we were like, well, how does that make you feel? And he was like, I actually don't remember getting much from him, but what we did get from him was the families that we took care of last year. He asked himself if he could join us for the shopping. On Christmas Eve night, he asked and did go downstairs, build all the toys, and wrap all the toys for us.
He got to help be Santa.
Put them under the tree, Elf on the Shelf. He took that on the whole month.
He probably had fun with that.
He did. And so it's just a different kind of fun.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I really like that. I remember going to my parents and being like, so-and-so at school, or they're saying at school that like Santa's not real. And I was like, I need to know. And they were like standing there, and I remember them saying,
how old are you?
7. And they're like, do you really want to know? And I was like, yes, I have to know. And they're like, are you sure? And I was like, yes. And so they told me, and I was like, dang it. And I was kind of sad. I was sad.
Yeah.
But then they were like, yeah, but you can help me this year. You can be Santa. And so you can come out. And I did. I got to help like set up some of the toys. But then I remember the next year, Easter rolled around.
And it all started clicking.
No. I said something about the Easter bunny and my dad let it slip that he was going to set out the Easter baskets. And I was like, but there's not an Easter bunny?
Oh my God.
Missy, Santa's not real. And you really think there's a bunny that hops around giving eggs to children?
That is hilarious. I do remember.
Yes, I was like 8.
When we had that conversation last year with Logan, he was like, so the Easter Bunny. And we're like,
yeah.
No. The Tooth Fairy. Yeah, no.
My nephew was so angry when he found out that Santa wasn't real. And also the way it happened is because he loved Sasquatch. Okay, this is a side story. This is a great one.
That's like irrelevant though, because there's people who legitimately think Sasquatch is real.
My dad.
Okay, continue.
Okay, so we were on a family vacation, like I would say 5 years ago. And Brett and I, like, we had dyed this parchment paper in tea, and we had like made these notes that looked like super old.
You
and
dyed parchment paper?
Paper and in like onions, in tea and onion skins. We dyed paper, and it looked like old-fashioned like notebook paper, like from like the 1800s or something.
Oh, so you just like... You rustified some paper.
We rustified it. Yes. I love that.
Okay. No idea if that's a word.
That's exactly what we did. So my dad we knew he had put together a scavenger hunt, and the whole thing was going to be like, there's a Sasquatch out here and he's leaving gifts for you guys. On this tree. And so like at one point, one of the nephews or nieces went out and left an apple, and then we went out there and we like took a bite out of it and put it back down, and they're like, oh my gosh, Sasquatch must have he liked our gift. Okay, so then they started writing notes, and so then we wrote a note on that old paper, and we kind of like put like symbols and stuff, and we let the kids just interpret it how they want. And it was really funny to like just see how because like literally the note didn't say anything. It was symbols and scratches. But they were like, oh, he's trying to tell us blah, blah. Okay. Anyway, fast forward like a couple years, and my Gregory, shout out Gregory. You guys did get to meet him. But
I love him.
He's great.
I still laugh about that conversation. He's so funny.
He is so great.
We're going to be paying for fucking air soon, guys. Merry Christmas.
He didn't say the F word, right? But he did. He was like, we're going to be paying for air soon. And so he basically found out like that Sasquatch wasn't real. And because his friends started teasing him because he believed in it. And he's like, no, I have proof. I have this letter. Yes. And so and tell me if I'm telling the story wrong, Gregory, but basically he found out Sasquatch wasn't real, and then he was so angry. He said, I'm never speaking to Grandpa Bob again, and I can't believe Melissa and Brett were in on that. And it was this huge thing, and then it was like, wait a minute. Santa Claus 2? Like, that was how he realized Santa wasn't real. He's like, then I bet you Santa's not real.
It's kind of funny that you bring the story up, because I also have a friend who played along with Santa just out of obligation for the first couple of years of her kid's life, but she personally never believed in teaching kids Santa and carrying along that, because she was like, it's lying to your kids, and then why? Like, it's just we're teaching our kids to lie.
I don't have kids, but I do think that that's the side I fall on.
Really?
Yeah. It's just not really because I feel like you're teaching them to lie. I know you're just like having like a magical experience.
If you're listening to this, my friend, and I'm remembering that wrong, and that's not exactly how the conversation went. That's just kind of the gist that I remember, is that it's lying to your kids. And
yeah, yes. And it's like they trust you and you're telling them like, hey, there's this person that's watching you over all the year. And
Beanie.
It's a little bit creepy, right? But I think that as long as you tell your kids like, hey, don't spoil this for other people, because it's the magic, right?
And that's why I do it, because it's exciting.
Fun.
It's, for some people, taking their kids to Disney for the first time.
Yeah.
Well, you as an adult, why did you enjoy it? And then their answer is typically because you're experiencing this from a kid's eye of seeing these live characters, and it's magic, and they just have all this things that they believe are real, and it's just amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, that's what Christmas feels like for someone like me. Like, I totally I can get on board with not wanting to carry it on and just, teaching your kids, let's not ruin it for others, but here's the truth, and I'm just going to be honest with you. And I think that that's respectable. That is totally fine, as long as your kids aren't the assholes.
Thank you. I think that's huge. I think that's a big part of it. Like, this is something that's a big tradition. You do not ruin this for other people.
Correct. You should never be ruining things for other people.
Never
so don't be an asshole kid. But it's magical to see it through your kids' eyes of, oh my gosh, this Santa is granting wishes and bringing gifts, and how did he know how to do this? Like, how is this happening? It's so magical. And so actually, Simon, when we got together, so if you don't know, he grew up very untraditional,
or unorthodox.
Untraditional, unorthodox, same thing.
Sure, yeah.
Sure.
No, yes, it is. Sorry, I didn't mean to say
untraditionally, in the sense that essentially raised in a cult. Can I say that, or am I supposed to?
You've already said it a few times, so I think the cat is out of the bag. You've definitely said, "Hey, meet my husband. He's raised in a cult."
You're welcome. He hates when I do that, but it is already been said, so I'm just gonna keep on rolling with it. So, in the community that they were raised in, there was a family allowance that you were given, and it was very small. But depending on the tier of family that you were in, the allowance was different.
No.
And so it became very evident that kids that are in this tier got nicer, more gifts. The kids in this tier got a couple of things. And
what? Isn't the whole point of having like some kind of a socialist cult is like to make everybody equal?
But is that religion?
Okay.
So then when they move out into,
P.S. for our religious friends, yes, we understand that is supposed to be religion. Okay. Just making sure that we didn't offend anyone.
As I stare awkwardly into the microphone. Anywho, so then when they move out of the community and they live into the real world, the family never really celebrated a traditional Christmas. Everyone already knew about Santa, and
there was no magic.
There was no magic, and there was always this there were internal family problems. And so Simon growing up and as a young adult, he didn't want to go home for Christmas. He would work. He would volunteer to work on Christmas, volunteer to work on Thanksgiving. Like, he didn't
It was a way to like not have to even
have to deal with it. Yeah, and not have to get involved. And so our first year together, he was very, very reluctant about any of the traditions. Be like coming to Thanksgiving.
So is Brett. He does not like things that are tradition. He wants to like buck tradition. Okay. So anyway.
Everyone should have their own tradition. But
I think.
So I introduced Simon to what I like to do for the kids for Christmas.
Aww.
In the first year, he was very uneasy about it. But on that Christmas Eve, so we do the elf on the shelf, and that Christmas Eve, their elf brought them, it was like a marshmallow kit. And so on Christmas Eve, we always watch a movie with the kids. I always watch a movie with the kids. Usually the Jim Carrey Grinch.
Okay.
I don't know. It's hilarious. We're obsessed. And So we marched marshmallows over the gas stove.
Oh,
with the
fun. You
kids.
roast them?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you got to eat s'mores on the couch with their little hot chocolate that we made and watch the movie. And
Okay, that is amazing.
later that night, like after the kids went to bed, he was like, that was awesome.
Was it magical for him?
It was.
I really feel like that would be a magical night, like getting together
It
with the
was.
people you love. You're roasting marshmallows in the house, watching a show.
And he was like, the kids just loved that. Now I have caught him shopping for the kids before I've even started looking for Christmas presents, because now he's like, oh, how can we make this for the kids? Like,
That is so cute.
it's so funny.
Oh, man.
But everyone should have a tradition. And one of the other things that it got me thinking about when we started looking into this is we were talking about obligation.
Yeah.
Obligation to get gifts, obligations to not give gifts. Like, how does that look like? There's obligations also to continue traditions that you were raised in that
Yeah.
maybe you don't even love.
This is interesting. What makes them so important? I'm just
Why?
curious.
Yeah. So I think that traditions also shouldn't be an obligation. I don't think we owe our family what the traditions always were. If the traditions were always that we go to our grandparents' house, all of us, and even now that, you know, the grandkids have kids, but we always go to Granny's house.
Yeah.
Why do we always have to do that when we all have our own string of kids and it's just not feasible? And then you're made to feel guilty a lot of times of,
I
well,
love that so much.
you didn't show up this year. I have a friend going through like the same thing. Why aren't you never show up for holidays anymore and on the holidays? It's always after the
And
holidays.
they're trying to make their own traditions.
It's not even that. It doesn't work for their family. It
Yeah.
doesn't work for their family financially. It doesn't work for their family work-wise.
Yeah.
Getting the same time off. It doesn't work for them.
Right.
So
why the guilt?
Right.
I love that you said we don't owe. I think if there is an obligation, it's actually from the parents or the maybe tradition setters. I'm doing that in quotation marks. Maybe it's for us to realize that our children that they're going to grow and morph into their own selves. And we need to support that, whether it's going to be changing and moving away from the things that we did as a family.
Mhm.
So if there is an obligation, I think it should be to just support.
And of course, you're combining two families anyways when you
Mhm.
get married and have children, or not even married, but you have
Change.
children. And
But you're right. Why do you have to do it just because that's how it was?
right. You have your own family. You can do what feels good for you.
It's kind of like growing up and hearing your parents say, well, it's because I said so.
Mm.
Well, why? Like, why?
like religion. I
Yes,
mean, I'm
it
not,
is a
I'm
little
not
bit that
trying
way
to go
too.
into that too, but a lot of times it is,
Or
you don't
even-
question.
Yes. And even like traditional, even if you want to go into politics too, which we don't, but here we are. No. But like, even like,
That's fair.
this is the way it is. That's how the forefathers made it. You know what I mean? It's like, well, okay. So I guess it's just why? Why? Maybe it's
Mhm.
okay to ask why. Maybe it's okay to say,
I don't even know if why is the question.
no.
No, I think the question is, here is the statement. How do I feel about it?
Okay, I like that.
How does that sit with me? Like, I
I
don't
like
know.
how you're making me look at it different too.
I don't know that the question is, why do you do that, Melissa?
Yeah, you're right.
I think the question is, Melissa, you do XYZ.
Right.
And then you sit with it and
Right.
be like, huh, why do I do that? Do I like it? Do I not like it?
I got chills.
Oh,
Thank
really?
you.
Oh my God.
I did
Yes.
because you're right. It shouldn't. I almost don't have words. Like it really. Sorry, you did. You kind of gave me chills, but it doesn't have to be like a reason.
Mm-mm.
Maybe it's just about accepting.
And I think that's what we've been
That's
talking
what
about
I-
this like whole season is just accepting what we personally think and feel for ourselves and sitting with that. And how does
Yeah.
that resonate with us?
Yeah, and also accepting what do other people feel, that they can feel differently than us.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like grandma wants us to go to her house every year because that's what made her happy. Okay, I can accept that, grandma, and maybe I can do something to like concede for
We can come down.
that, right?
Yeah.
But at the same time, we are asking you to accept us as well. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
One of the things, okay, so real quick, just because I think we're getting close on time, but I kind of want to share a tradition that Brett and I do.
Yeah, it's
Okay,
so cute.
okay,
I
okay.
actually love it.
Okay. So I did see it on Facebook like quite a few years ago. And
Oh, is that how
apparently-
it got started?
Yeah, apparently I think, I should know. it's got a name because like it's from like somewhere like either the Netherlands or I forgot where it's from, but it's called like Flood of Books is what they call it. And I guess for Christmas, and it's a thing that they do. And
this was on a trivia game.
It was? I need to find the roots of it.
Now that you're...
I forgot the name of it.
Is it Polish?
No.
No? It was on a trivia game of like, this culture does this on every Christmas Eve.
Yeah.
And then it like gave you like multiple choice and like giving a book was one of them.
That's what we do.
Oh,
yeah. So we give each other
funny.
a book and chocolate, and you stay up until midnight reading and eating chocolate. And so like Brett will sometimes, there's these Tim Tams. They're like an Australian treat. They're these cookies. And if you bite off one end of each and then you put it in a hot cocoa and you suck on it, you're like getting all the fudge out of the cookie. And it's like a really fun way to drink hot cocoa. So he gets Tim Tams and cocoa every year. And then I buy yummy truffles.
Oh, that is so
And we both go and look, we spend like a date before Christmas and we go to the bookstore and we separate and don't look over here. I'm over here looking at this section so like, yeah, it's fun. We're trying to find a book for each other to surprise each other. I love it. I love it so much. But yeah, that's our tradition.
Yeah, I don't think Simon and I have like a personal tradition, but
that's okay.
We do with the kids.
Well, marshmallows.
That's the difference of like the different types of families.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
And it's okay.
It's okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Thanks, Lottie.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Yeah, I liked it.
Food for thought. Do we listen to our close friends and family who say they don't want a gift? Do you agree that we just kind of listen?
Maybe we need to listen. I don't know. I think that's where I am. All right, guys, let us know. We love you. Gert's out. If you liked what you heard today, hit that like button or the subscribe button or whatever button it is that you have.
Just hit it. To continue this conversation with us, join the Skirts Up Show on what is it again?
Well, we have Facebook, we have YouTube,
and Pinterest.
And no, we do not have a Pinterest, but we have Instagram.
You knew what I meant.
Rate and review.
Rate and review.